Hey, beautiful human. Welcome to episode 14 of From Chaos to Cozy, where we're on an amazing adventure gaining clarity around our chaos and how to say our cozy more clearly. In the last episode, I introduced an energetic process that I call the hedge and shared information about a world hedge that can aid us in feeling peace. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a few different energetic approaches that can be used as tools to bring the earth a little further away from chaos and a little closer to cozy. And I'm sure many of us have heard about a new earth that we're headed toward ascending into, and there have been changes happening for a couple of decades already where we've begun feeling the shift from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And this Aquarian energy brings with it a rebellious courage to change things. The old things no longer work for where we're headed and how we are changing. And we're moving into a higher sense of sisterhood and brotherhood where nationality isn't going to make sense a whole lot any longer. Fear-based reactions and motivations such as greed and safety, arrogance, being right, and other lower vibrational emotional energies, those are going to stand out starkly in comparison to the unconditional love energy that is expanding upon the planet from the inside out. It is now a time for us to begin regaining our focus and awareness on what energy that we're putting out into the world. Every moment we are sending energy out, and if we're blindly sending energy out, it depends on what programs are running automatically in us, which the norm lately in the last couple of centuries has been mainly fear-based. We're shown images all over the place with advertisements, social media, television, movies, whatever, that trigger a fear within us, and we react to this stimuli, and we send out lower vibration fear energy. And we can get inundated with things we see and we hear, even taste, smell, and touch that can trigger these fears, or not. This is where we can become aware of our energy focus and make adjustments according to how we want to feel and impact the collective earth energy. A challenge can be that we're used to living in a world of fear opportunities, and we're drawn out and distracted by it fairly easily in the beginning. You know, the story of the white wolf and the dark wolf living inside us is based upon this concept that whatever we feed within us grows. Setting reminders and alerts around us to bring us back to focusing on higher vibrational energy has been a helpful tool for me. You know, writing sticky notes in places that I'm often, like on my computer screen, and on my refrigerator door, as I exit my home, on the door, in my vehicle, even on the bathroom mirror. You can use a dry eraser marker to make notes on your mirror as a reminder as well. And I speak a lot about using my cell phone as a great source of alerting me to come back to the now and focusing on higher vibrational unconditional love and joy, gratitude, whatever that I'm wanting to make a new habit. So setting a silent vibrating alarm that only alerts me to every hour or every half hour that I'm awake. The more reminders and alerts that we have, the faster the new habit is formed. We can get distracted back from fear to higher vibrational love as often as we would like. Expanding upon what we discussed in the last episode around creating a world hedge, I talked a little bit about not making it intentional to the point where we're trying to control the world, upset that other dictators are trying to control our world and not allowing me to be the dictator instead. It's similar to curses and love spells or whatever we feel we want to do to try to control others' actions because how we feel it might affect us. Great example I once heard somewhere. It's in the area of finding the love of our lives. rather than focusing on a specific individual that we want and sending out energy toward them to want them to be our love instead of someone else's. Instead, we choose to cast a spell upon ourselves. When we cast a spell on others, it doesn't impact anyone else unless they themselves want it to. What it does instead is send energy out to the universe to tell it that we enjoy wanting them to love us, and that energy actually pushes the person further away because we're telling the universe that we like wanting, not having, but wanting. But when we cast a spell upon ourselves, we can put forth energy of gratitude that the perfect person for my love adventure is being drawn to me as I draw closer to my self-love. And if that other person happens to be that, then we'll be drawn together. But if there's an even more amazing person that the universe has in store for us, then we will draw them to us instead. We'll draw, ourselves to each other. And some of this, of course, is about trusting the universe to bring the perfect person or situation in the perfect way, in the perfect timing. For political and world leaders, since their choices do impact us, we can cast a spell upon ourselves that the perfect world leaders and political leaders will be drawn into the positions that will aid us in having the most highest experience here on Earth. We can pulse out energy of higher truth over and over, like truth, 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 with the love energy, that the beliefs and lies of fear be brought into the light so that the capital T truth can be known and transformation can take place. Things will be brought to light eventually anyway, but focusing energy on it can bring the truth out sooner. Same thing for wars that are happening in the world. We send love to the situation and cast a spell that the experiences that are unfolding are those that will draw our planet to the highest vibrational love and experiences. And also with devastation, tornadoes, flooding, tsunamis, earthquakes, fires, whatever may come where we are, whatever triggers us emotionally, we can make a difference by sending unconditional love. A couple of interesting things about world energy that I have come across on my path are first, the Heart Math Institute. You can check them out at heartmath.org. They also have a belief about how our emotional energy can influence the world. They mention in their purpose on their website the subject of the energetic heart, which says, discover why the heart's electromagnetic field is an important carrier of emotional information, and how compassionate living from a state of heart coherence can positively affect and lift the vibration of those around us and our planet. It's so perfect. And there is also the Global Consciousness Project, which has a belief based on measurements they monitor through the world. Things like 9/11 and Princess Diana passing impacted data that was being monitored and generated across the world. And though it hasn't been 100% scientifically proven, it all makes sense that our global consciousness and unconsciousness influence each other. You can feel energy change when you're in a group because the feelings and energy of others is influencing us, making it easier for us to choose a joyful, unconditionally loving energy or one of fear. A crowd can be riled up in fear, and then we do stupid things together. Or a crowd can be ignited with compassion, and we do amazing, loving things together. While I was gathering the thoughts and information for this episode, I was actually nudged to take a break. And then I went onto my private account on YouTube, and there, on my suggested videos, was a video recommendation from a YouTube channel called Heart Coherence Collaborative, with an interview with the channeler Lee Harris, who channels a collective of spirit beings called the Z's, Z apostrophe S. And when I listened to the video, even though the title didn't, even give a hint of it at all, it was a lot about what we're talking about regarding energy and having a worldwide meditation to send love out to the world. How it does make a difference, that it is an ancient practice. So I love it. I'll include a link down below if you'd like to check out that video as well. Or subscribe to their channel. It was an amazing thing. It's so perfect. And then in the last episode, I mentioned an empathic bubble, which is something we can do to create a little force field of sorts around us emotionally, where we don't take on other people's emotions as our own, where we can turn down the emotional noise that's around us. So let's bring a little clarity in the difference between a hedge and an empathic bubble. Now, the main difference lies in how we interact with others. We can look at a hedge as hermit time, a respite from contact with other humans. And its design is to give us a calm in the middle of our human storm, a break from the drama, to get to the roots of our fear drama. And that is most effective when we're not having a lot of interaction with other humans who can bring lower vibrational energy around us. That makes it easier for us to choose lower vibrational energy as well. We might have some individuals still remain with us during this short time we're in the hedge, and they will act as super magnified mirrors, like, those makeup mirrors you have where it's normal on one side and you flip it over and then you scream as you see your pores because it's so close. An empathic bubble is intended more to be something like maintaining our own energy while we continue interacting with others and not taking their emotions on as our own. You might have seen these huge plastic balls that humans can get into and walk on water, like those plastic balls that you would have for your hamsters so they could run around outside their cages. That's what this empathic bubble is sort of like. You can see and feel others' emotions, but they stay outside of our own emotional energy field. Kind of mutes it or lowers the volume of the emotional noise. A similarity between a hedge and a bubble is that they both do give us time to reflect upon the source of our own emotional adventures. Within the bubble, when we experience the emotions of others, if we have that charged emotion bouncing around in the realm of our little emotional inner child, that little inner child leaps up to say, ooh, 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 me too, and demands that we give it attention. It wants us to take this charged emotion off their hands that they've been holding on to for years, waiting for that day that they could feel and flow through it with the unconditional love, acceptance, and support of you as your adult self. And I talk about a few ways on how to create this empathic bubble in a video in my Take 10 Was Then playlist. It's episode 9. And I'll have linked in the description box of the video down below links to that. And you can also check out videos 7, 8, and 10 that surround it, because we talk about the true gift of the empath, which is another of our energetic abilities. It's a nice bridge to talking about when our heart aches to help others in the illusion of the story of a broken heart. These are all the 4 videos that it talks about, and they're 10 minutes or less. I think most of them are. So if you want to check those out, that'll give you some good input on those energetic processes and some great information around our energy. The true gift of the empath is that we can push out emotional, vibrational energy to a person, a situation, or a room when we walk into it. And we can push out unconditional love and make it easier for people to choose unconditional love themselves. We can't force anyone to choose the emotion that they want to feel, but we can make it harder or easier for them to choose unconditional love or the lower vibrational energy of the fear of losing conditional love. Yup, we can also bring a room lower in energy if we walk in radiating lower vibrational fear energy, making it easier for everyone else to join us. We can seem like the life of a party, bringing in light and love, or we can bring lower energy into a situation where people start chanting, "Every party has a pooper, that's why we invited you." No choice is right or wrong. It's up to us what we choose, right? But owning our own energy is a great place to start in helping the collective energy of the planet. When our heart is aching because we feel helpless to assist someone else that's going through a tough time, and we don't feel there's anything we can do in the physical world to help them, it's usually because our heart has been activated with compassion. Our natural state is that of unconditional love and joy, gratitude, laughter, and all that related to higher vibration. When our human witnesses someone in a lower vibrational state, our heart wants to lift that person up to a higher place. And normally, we can do something in the outer world to help someone if they're near us. But if someone is, or something is happening outside our control or influence, maybe on the other side of the world, for example, we might feel helpless. And thus, our heart is filling with this love energy, and it has nowhere to be expressed in the physical world. Now, there's a difference between this feeling and the feeling of fear. Fear is ignited when we feel it's our responsibility to make others' lives be what we have been taught that they're supposed to be. There's pressure and concern about what others will think and what all this means about us. Compassionate energy of the higher soul doesn't attach to the outcome or try to control the situation. We're just able to send the love energy to the person or situation and let it do what it wants to do. The pressure in our heart is released, and if it comes back, we send more energy, but we let go of the control aspect of it all. We move into a different aspect of all of this energy when it's someone who's asking for love energy from us. These others have really been activated by our own selves and our emotional adventure. And this is when we enter the realm of what many call energy work. Humans have titled different types of energy work, whether they call it Reiki, Tai Chi, Qigong, laying on of hands, and there's more out there, I'm sure. And at their core, though, they are all about movement and focus of energy. With this type of energy movement, the other human person is asking for help with their world, either physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, in some way. We still ask their higher selves for permission, and we can perform energy type flows without a specific intention other than for it to do what it needs to be done for the highest experience, according to their higher self's wishes. It's like saying, thy will be done, not mine. I had an experience once that really brought this home for me, and I was sending someone distance healing energy for something that was going on with them. And usually I would picture the person standing in front of me in my mind's eye and place my hands near the location that was in need. But in this specific situation, they started to shrink down to like a Barbie doll size, all this going on inside of my mind's eye. And instead of standing up, they drifted and turned where they were laying down in between my hands, where their feet were pointed toward one of my hands and their head was at the other. And the energy was flowing through them, through their entire little Barbie doll body. But then something crazier happened. Their higher self appeared in front of me on the other side of their smaller version of themselves. But they were this version that was a huge, larger, higher self version of themselves. And then they placed their large hands on the outside of both of my hands. And their energy began to flow through my hands too. but I felt the need to let go and let them drive the energy instead of me. And then while that was going on, my higher self appeared behind me, placing their huge hands on the outside of the other's bigger hands, giving more energy, but still allowing the other person's higher self to drive the energy bus that we were all on. And then I felt the energy of others from outside of us, like the spiritual posse of the other person. They were also sending their energy to assist. Of course, it was quite an amazing flow of energy, as you can imagine, but overall, it taught me how to allow the flow of energy to go where the other person's higher self wanted it to go. There are other energies that can impact our journeys as well, like tuning forks and singing bowls who emanate a vibration from them, as well as musical vibration of instruments and the human voice. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, because those energy vibrations exist outside us, they cannot impact us unless we allow it and how we allow it. The planets and ethereal energetic forces that exist in our universe, they're also sending us energy. And knowing our birth charts can help us understand how the astrological energies influence us each day. How any energies influence and impact us falls within our own power of choice. Other humans can give us an opinion on how something is supposed to influence us, but ultimately, we are the ones who decide for ourselves and only ourselves. The power of choice is something that I've talked about already, and I'm sure will come up over and over again through our journey from chaos to cozy, because it is indeed a very large part of each of our moments, which are made up of a choice between higher vibrational, cozy energy rooted in unconditional love and lower vibrational, chaotic energy rooted in the fear of losing conditional love. In the next episode, I'm going to touch on an amazing meditational practice that can help balance the energy of each moment and the importance of developing a close relationship with our spiritual posse and inner selves. Until next time, remember every second of every moment of our lives that we are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So hang in there, take care of you. We'll see you soon.